strong drink. Come on.
I'm just fucking with you.
Oh, okay.
Wanted to mess up your intro. Welcome to the Plastic Hearts Podcast. My name is Gavin Jones, and with me is Fonzarelli. I didn't have a last name to go with that.
You can use your own little intro.
Fonzarelli Pizza Sauce.
I was going to call you a local neighborhood Spooky Boi, Gavin Jones.
I feel like Spooky Boi is definitely like a thing in some sort of community. Like that's like a type of furry that's like, it's maybe like the lazy furry, like just a sheet with two eye holes cut out. I'm sorry, there's probably a third hole cut out.
Oh, you know there's a third hole. At least. Gavin, how are you?
I am great. It was a good weekend.
Yeah?
Playing just shit tons of
Outer Worlds? Let's put $1 down for how many times you say Outer Wilds versus, myself included, versus Outer Worlds.
That's a dangerous kind of swear jar right there. I stopped
thing.
myself. Like I kept texting him several times during the week, and I kept having to fix it last second before I texted. Yeah, I'm gonna mess it up constantly. Although I saw an interview before it came out with IGN interviewing the guys doing a little bit of gameplay, and they're like, "How does it feel to be one letter off from another game that released right before yours?" It's like, how does it feel to shut the fuck up, dude? Like, goddamn.
Yeah, it's.
But
although I think we mentioned too, it's like at least their game is that they're being compared to because it's so similar, at least title wise, is an awesome game. So they're in good.
Absolutely.
It's not like it was like a Hitler simulator, 2019. It's like, oh shit,
we gotta change this shit.
Yeah,
I was laughing out loud all the time playing that game. It's so funny. So I love it.
What do you think? We can get into that. So I played a little bit. I think I need to jump in way more. Obviously, way more. Mm-hmm. But I'm liking it so far. But I want to hear your impressions on.
It's good. The writing is incredibly funny. All the character. I really like how different the characters are. They have some really good personalities. Dealing with
as far as like companions or the
all of them.
Okay.
Really, all of them.
Okay.
And even like the preacher guy, at first I didn't like him. I grew to like him a little bit. I just liked other people more, so I kind of kicked him out.
Which preacher guy?
There's a preacher in the first town. There's like a chapel.
I didn't go there.
Kind of thing. Oh, really?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, you missed a companion.
Well,
the game even like tells you
just
two different points to go there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I have the Ashley Birch voiced character.
Yes.
I forget her name, but she's my companion at the moment. That's my only one that I found, but
it's like a 3-syllable something. Starts with an A.
Yeah. She's got a normal name, but
does she?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, like normal as in she has a name. I don't know. I just remember Ashley Birch.
Gotcha.
I think when I see her name, I just replace it with Ashley Birch.
Her character is really interesting. I don't see. That's the thing. I want to talk about it, but I don't know how far you are. Have you done the bar scene with her?
The bar scene? No,
where
maybe
you get her drunk.
No, not at all. So
okay.
I'm like 4 hours in. I've left that first planet.
I can't believe you got off there in 4 hours.
Well,
I was like 16 hours in before I left that.
You can complete the other like first kind of mission, and then you can piece the fuck out of there. And I did that, and I didn't stick around, but I should go and kind of venture around that area more.
Gotcha. I was
Parvati Holcomb.
Right, Parvati. I explored. I really should know her name. I probably explored just about every inch of that planet. I explored almost half of it before I even entered the town.
Okay.
Like I was just trying to take one of my things, and I know this is why I like Breath of the Wild at first a little bit more before you did.
Yeah.
Because I like taking on challenges I'm not technically leveled or ready for. So I was just finding bandit gangs and like, reloading every time I die and really trying to take them on. And I'm already hamstring because I don't have people with me.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm already weaker.
Early on, yeah.
Right. But I was still taking on everything I could. And by the time, those giant gorilla things that just whoop that ass if you get
I've
near
seen them. I saw some sleeping. So I just creeped around them, but I know what you're talking about.
They will whoop that ass.
That's what I assume, yeah.
Yeah. So I got to
Oh, wait, the teleporting ones?
No.
Okay, never mind.
I haven't seen that.
They get more fucking crazy eventually because I flew my ship to a planet that I could tell same situation where I'm not going to survive here. I just want to go.
Was it the lizard ones?
No, they were. They're these gorillas like you're describing. I want to say they're purple or something, or I'm thinking of
probably just
gorilla.
A stronger variant.
But they would teleport around, so there was no way to get out. It was terrifying.
Were they teleporting or were they digging into the ground and popping out somewhere?
I got the impression they were teleporting because you'd see like a BAMF kind of effect. And then they just show up behind you. Yeah.
Oh, the original gorillas just dig down, and so that's a new power up.
It must be,
upgrade.
Yeah, not in the good direction, man.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I left that planet because I could tell that. So I haven't ventured around that first planet just because I thought that, just from reading around, that my impression was they weren't like fleshing out each world. That's what I thought.
That's what I
was
heard.
moving along. Yeah, but apparently there is a lot of stuff there. So I just kind of kept going.
Yeah, it felt pretty fleshed out. I mean, it's not to the same level as like a Skyrim,
right?
Or
Fallout New
something.
Vegas is the last one, and they compare it to
right.
that.
But there's a lot of shit there. It's definitely also. I don't know how I feel about this. It's not super condensed.
Okay.
Which I guess makes it a little more satisfying when you do discover something.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and also something I love, which not very many games like this do, is there's not really, for the most part, enemy respawn, or it's a long timer.
Okay.
So I was going through clearing out every building, and then when I got the quest,
there's nobody.
I just
there.
walk fucking through, pick up the thing. If I hadn't already picked it up, I love games that let you accidentally complete quests.
Oh yeah, because like
before
I have
you get
that.
to them.
Yeah, Fallout did that all the time. Yeah, I love that.
If you couldn't save my grandson, he's right here.
Or actually, I killed him. I'm sorry.
I did accidentally there was like inside the hull of that one ship, the groundbreaker.
Okay, groundbreaker.
Yeah, I went into the belly and I fought off all those goons. And I went into a room and didn't realize this one lady was not a goon, so I smacked her in the face.
Okay.
And then she was running away. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. And then I killed everyone else in the room. I'm like, please.
Can you convince them once they're, because I know with like Fallout, once you accidentally shoot someone,
I hope so.
You just are an enemy forever. Like
I couldn't get her to. I really hope she resets, because I went down there.
And she was like
I went out for a while, and
right?
Yeah, and I came back and she was still mad.
Yeah.
So she just had her health. She just had her health. I fucking hit her in the face with a goddamn hammer with
does it have like a
jet engine?
Thing? Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
I love that hammer. It's such a power spike compared to all the weapons before it. I just got the scythe. I like it okay. I just like the cool factor of the hammer.
Gotcha.
And it made a cool noise.
Yeah, for sure.
But
that's funny. I would like to see that improve, because you do, with these kind of games, you accidentally hurt people, and a lot of these will, at least with the Fallout, that whole kind of that series, they will switch to, oh, you're an enemy? Okay, you're an enemy for life. I can't be like, whoa, I can't calm you down, like, oh, that was an accident. There's no dialogue option there. And I would expect that in this kind of game, because they really fleshed out the dialogue options. Like, that was a big focus with this game, like just completely, opening that up.
Yeah. Perhaps too much dialogue sometimes.
Interesting. Yeah, I wonder... there's times where I get the idea of the conversation, so I'll just like skip through to see like what options I have story-wise to decide. I found that, I don't know if you found this, or what your build is rather, but like I really upgraded my conversational ability in the game, so like I can persuade, or have just higher intelligence. So a lot of times I'm talking to someone and I've never hit the wrong option where I don't have enough stamina or whatever to influence someone.
Right, and that's because you went down that first. And I've kind of read some tips on it. It's like you don't really need to go full force dialogue right out the gate. Like you can go to like 50 and leave it.
I see. That's what I did
for a little bit,
because I'm used to Fallout where there were so many options where I would fail. Like I would choose it and it would be not wrong, but I wouldn't have the influence that I think I have. So this time, like I upgraded it, and I'm noticing like, oh, there's no wrong answer. Quote unquote. I can just do whatever I want dialogue wise.
And that's a decision that I absolutely adore that they made, is that if the option is available, it's not, a percentage. Is it going to succeed? Is it going to fail? You're going to do it whether they agree with you or not. Is not a randomness.
Gotcha.
It's just a fact of whether you should actually be doing that in this situation. So that, I think, is that much more powerful and makes role-playing that much better. That being said, I love that my character is a complete and total dumbass.
Did you go that route?
I did. I set my IQ to 0, and you need to play through again as an idiot. It's absolutely hilarious. And it got better once I choose the dumb option every time.
Okay.
I'll give you an example.
Because I don't even see that. There's like a dickish response that I see that's obvious every time. But
right. I'll give you an example that...
Does it tell you like low IQ response to, or you can just tell?
It just literally says dumb.
Okay.
I'll show you. I took a picture because I thought this was great. So I was talking to the guard, and these dumb... Like, it's crazy that you can't see them, because these dumb... I mean, I guess that'd be annoying if people are like... Sometimes it's annoying that you can't see them.
Okay.
Or that you can see them, but you don't have the option. Like, it must be better.
The fact that it says dumb or not, that kind of thing?
Or that it's like your science isn't high enough. So I imagine it'd be super annoying if it's just like, you're just not dumb enough to say that, especially when they pop up literally all the time. So the example with the guard. Okay, so I was talking to the guard when you get to the groundbreaker. So it says, identification, please. And my answer was, you're guarding the door, so I'll call you guard. You're welcome.
That's awesome.
I'm basically Randy, what's his name? Randy Couture's character from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, no, what's his face? He's another. It's very, very close.
Is his last name Couture?
No, it's but another like.
Is it Randy?
It's a WWE guy rather, but it's
Right.
Dave Bautista. There you go.
Wow, I was so many miles off.
Well, Randy Couture is like UFC. He's fought in the UFC. I think he might do
Is
WWE
he?
stuff too.
Oh, okay.
But big big buffed out guy. I know what you're talking
It's
about.
like, I either got the right name or a fucking purse designer. One of those two.
Or I was thinking if you watch The Good Place, right?
No.
Oh, okay. There's this one really dumb dude. That's exactly him. Like he just
Gotcha.
says the wrong thing every time. It's that guy.
Well, it pops up most often when people use like I want to say the word is like euphemism. It's like you're light as a feather, or like basically exactly like
Where
that
you're
character
not-
in Guardians, where it's like that went over your head. Like nothing can get over my head. I'm too fast.
Yeah.
Like
he takes things literally.
Tons of lines like that, and it's funnier when I finally gained a group because they have to explain what the fuck I'm trying to say. Like,
Will you
there'll
see
be
it happen?
Huh?
You'll see it happen. Like they'll talk to each other.
They'll explain what I'm trying to say, and it's great. And it's like, I know they're just designed to, like, they had to write it generically. Like, they clearly can't like
Okay.
get used to you over time, but they kind of say it like they've been dealing with your ass for a while. And so they're like, I'll do it in very sensitive situations. Like my brother just like passed away, and it's like, who was he passing? It's just what he means is we're very sorry. We're very, very sorry for your loss. And you like sometimes, especially when it gives you dumb option that stacks into a dumb option that clearly
God.
I'm like, I can only see this dialogue route because I'm so fucking dumb.
Right.
And it's great. But yeah, so I call it, what do I call it? Dumbass Achilles. Because I'm
Gotcha.
super fucking strong melee warrior.
But an idiot.
Complete idiot. Although I'm charming, and sometimes I'll get a dumb persuasion option as well,
Oh.
which is kind of cute. Like they're kind of just cheeky, like, could you do it for me? Like stuff like that, and it's great. I love it.
But you like shit your pants at the same time. So like, all right,
Exactly,
man, I'll
yes.
try and help you out. That's great. I really want to spend more time jumping into it. What do you feel, or how do you feel about the shooting mechanic? You know, like the fighting aspect to it, like as far as that.
As a melee character, I think it's nice that I get to do a bit of both.
And you're focusing more on melee versus the shooting.
Entirely. I have like 95 two-handed melee right now.
Gotcha.
So, and it's not, I wish it were more satisfying. It's really not the best impactful. A lot of times I'm not even sure if I'm hitting something. Even if I'm in slow-mo, because
Yeah.
it just swipes through them, I can't really tell. So
Gotcha.
definitely some of the worst. It's crazy that first-person melee used to be so bad, and it's really gotten good in the last like maybe 10 years. And this is kind of harkening back to when first-person melee was shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of takes I'll see online where, because a lot of the criticisms that Bethesda had with the Fallout series is like they almost put their heads down and developed this game and then looked up and they're like, oh, the industry kind of changed or improved on this kind of RPG game format. So with this one, it's the same situation where it's like they announced, okay, we're going to make this Outer Worlds game, and it's more, harken to that older style, but even with the faults where like that you don't feel that connection with the melee stuff. The shooting for me is the same situation. It's just like not like it's not fun. It's just we've improved on this already,
Right, exactly. I guess that's the only thing. I wish both of them were a little bit meatier, especially, and I've heard this pointed out, the sound effects are really good for combat. But I
don't have an opinion either way, but
yeah, they're meaty sound effects, but the gameplay is not super meaty. So
Right.
And Fallout 4 had good melee. I played melee there.
I think I remember it being fine. Yeah, the shooting sucked, but it always sucked, with Fallout games. But
I mean, just give me a little when I hit something like, and that's what Fallout did. That like I hit it and then
Yeah, some kind of a-
It's
yeah.
not just swiping. Nothing stops.
Yeah.
And then I go into slow-mo and it becomes instantly less fun, but I need to because that's my build. So
Gotcha. Yeah, and the slow-mo kind of replaced the VATS, like slow down,
Right.
pinpoint, the thing.
since you're ranged, do you do so with melee? I need to go in and target specific body points to cripple them. When
Okay.
I'm in slow-mo, do you have to do that in ranged?
Now, I haven't figured out how I can, because I do miss that with VATS, where I could see, like, say it's a robot, there's some kind of component. Oftentimes, you could pinpoint the component and then cause the robot to like malfunction and start shooting other stuff. I think that's there from what I can tell, but I can't see it naturally in that slow-mo mode. So I have to just decide. But yeah, I can pinpoint, limbs and stuff, but...
Well, that's probably in your speech, too, because if you get speech high enough, it'll have effects during, like, persuasion, I say, is against people, and maybe they'll, I don't know, they'll be fearful of you or something like that.
I know that. I've heard, like, they'll cower around you or something like that.
Right, exactly. Gotcha. And they have that for, was it persuasion, lie, I think... Intimidation affects animals, and I forget, like, lie maybe affects robots.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know if I've intentionally focused my speech to affect the combat in that way, but maybe it is doing that.
Maybe not intentionally, but yeah, all these the stats affect both, conversation and combat, which is cool.
Well, I do like in that stat breakdown, like you can choose. It's almost like more generic, and then it gets more detailed. Like apparently, as you upgrade or rise up in your or level up rather, you can kind of pinpoint your data or whatever, your like actual like points used for specific components. But like right now it's like just, intelligence or speech or whatever. Then you can find point like lying, for compared to the other stuff. I haven't unlocked that yet, but I know you can like really just, go to town and exactly add points to where you want it. But
I wish it were a little more impactful because you are, once you get to 50 in a certain category, then, you have to pick a path and really go down it. And it doesn't feel super impactful. Especially with speech, it really makes you spread. Like it's a lot harder to get up there. Have you taken any flaws to get more perks?
I think I did. I forget what it was, but I did enable something. I just don't remember what it was. I think I picked the least impactful one so that I didn't have to worry about it. But yeah.
Gotcha. I have taken every flaw I've been offered.
Okay.
I am a problem.
What are some of your flaws that you've enabled?
I can't remember most of them. Most of them just like flat downgrade my stats. Gotcha. But I wanted to get because you need 5 in first tier perks to get to second tier, and then 5 in second tier to get third tier. So I just wanted to get to third tier as fast as possible because I know you get a perk every 2 levels. Gotcha. So I was like, well, this is going to slow down real quick. And I took so many flaws. I'm level 12. So really I should only have 6 perks, and I have 10 or 11 perks.
Okay.
So I have way more perks than I should have. The one that really I probably take too much damage to plasma. I probably shouldn't have taken that.
Gotcha.
And then I am a drug addict. And that's just there for the game.
I see.
So if I don't do my inhaler, I want to say maybe every 10 minutes, my stats go down.
Oh, okay.
So like sometimes I'll forget about it. I'll be in combat and I'll see the little needle in the corner saying, "Oh yeah, take a hit." So I'm stuck. I'm an addict and I'm stuck with it. That's my character. But I'm also like over perked, which is cool.
Okay.
So and now I'm to the really good perks, and I can just go nuts for donuts and only put perk points into good perk points.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a balance of making sure that, although there are those limiting factors or like things that will, I guess, downsides, intentional downsides. But if you can overbalance it, whereas, it's more beneficial. Or the other ones you can enable are more beneficial.
I think the only thing I wish is I wish it were more thematic with the taking an injury or whatever or a flaw. Like I wish let's say you get a concussion, maybe it kind of I don't know, reduces something like your speech, which would make sense.
Right. Something. Yeah. I see what you mean.
But increase something specific like resistance to headshot damage. Like, well, my brain's already been injured.
Sure.
What's another hit to the head, or specific melee damage to the head or something like that. I wish it was a little bit more thematic, but
I kind of get the vibe. A lot of us were expecting them to really go full force into this. I feel like they scratched the surface with New Vegas, with Obsidian taking over New Vegas. I thought they were maybe going to dip a bit more into those options, those dialogue options, those really building your character options, which they have, but it's almost still very similar to like a Fallout with your options that you have. I guess I expected them to really almost innovate or something, but it's more of not more of the same, but it's an improved, better running Fallout. It seems
right.
Like, with a different theme.
The tricky bit is they have so much dialogue, you can't really do that. If it were a smaller, more concentrated game, you could absolutely really kind of have better branching dialogue trees. I still feel special being dumb. Like you legitimately am not having my dumbass experience.
Yeah, I'm not.
And I love being an idiot. It's great. But yeah, and it's also interesting to see, because I know I was certainly worried because the lead writer and I want to say one of the lead designer guys for New Vegas was people he did, I guess Obsidian or whatever really pissed him off. They did something bad. And he left, and that's why he's now at the Dying Light 2 studios.
Gotcha.
And yeah, the Obsidian didn't come out smelling great after whatever happened there.
Well, with Dying Light, I mean, I could just already picture that because this Dying Light 2, they're going full force where your decisions really affect the world and completely change it. So yeah.
Right. So people were kind of worried that the writing wasn't going to be up to snuff in this. And for me, it does feel very up to snuff. But again, that's just... It's hard to say, and then we'll really find out when Dying Light comes out too. And I definitely need a next-gen console to play that son of a bitch. Holy shit. But it's going to be interesting to compare and contrast.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Overall, you're still pretty positive. Like you're not, having any weird feelings or anything. Like you want to dig more into this game.
I'm having a blast. My only real complaint is I wish that my build was a little bit more special to me in combat. Also, it's been tricky coming from, because they're honestly kind of similar, coming from Borderlands 3 to this.
Sure. Like aim-wise or something like that.
Right. So I keep wanting to slide or I keep wanting to mantle because I'm sliding and mantling all the time.
Right.
That's just a design choice, but it's so freeing in Borderlands 3.
It's also like a standard in games now, like where the movement has improved to the point where But you're right. I found myself trying to slide and I couldn't do that.
Right.
I think there's a point where there's these boxes like, oh, maybe they want me to kind of just venture around, but I could not do that. You can't mantle, you can only jump like a 6 inches above the ground. So it's like I can't jump on anything. So
right. So going from fantastic fucking shooting and melee, I have a very melee centric character in Borderlands.
Yeah.
And then so I'm basically going from playing the Doomslayer to the sword swinger guy.
I wonder. Like I was driving today and comparing. Because you mentioned the Doomslayer, so Rage 2 basically uses that. I feel like they just copy and pasted the Doom gunplay mechanic because it's like same developer or same team, their publisher. So they were able to use that mechanic, implement it into their game with Rage 2, and it worked. Like the strongest point of Rage 2 was the shooting, where the weakest point was the world building, was the story, and with Outer Worlds, it's the opposite direction where it's like the story is the strongest part, those dialogue options strongest part, but the shooting, the melee stuff is just like leave something to be desired.
Yeah, it's hard, and that's something honestly I think Fallout 4 did really good. Is my build felt specific to me, and it felt going down a tree, a skill tree, felt rewarding.
Gotcha.
And that's also something Borderlands gives me as well. So yeah, I wish the combat trees were a bit more interesting and a bit more rewarding. But yeah, the absolute storytelling is fantastic. Yeah. We talked about there's a specific decision.
Is it like the first main choice, I guess, like story-wise choice you have to make?
And I was like, when I saw it, when you told me which you chose, and I was going to choose the opposite, I was split. I'm like, maybe I should just pick, because I wanted to pick what you did.
I see.
To me, that felt correct. And then I picked what I picked, and I feel like I got the good ending.
Really? I didn't see it ending either way. I wasn't sure if maybe when I decided it, I needed to go to talk to someone to finish it out, but you
can actually talk to the computer and ask her how it's going down there.
The computer that you used to make the decision
in the ship.
Oh,
so she told me
which I love, by the way. I love
right.
That.
She's great. What she said happened down there was a little bit different than what was supposed to happen down there. So I wonder if they didn't have quite the dialogue for my choice.
Gotcha. I either don't remember that or haven't asked the computer the result of that.
But we probably shouldn't discuss that because that is spoiler territory. I can definitely tell you afterwards what happened because it was great. I got the good ending to that story.
Okay.
All because I picked that decision.
I do, without spoiler stuff, I do get the vibe that they are trying to pick these or paint these like different choices, whether there's a moral choice or something that's not as moral, but there's definitely an idea where these corporations are evil, right? They're bad for the most part.
Right.
But I don't get a sense that it's like clearly one way. Like it was vague enough where I had to kind of think about it. Or no, you know what? The opposite is true. That first decision, I felt like they were painting one party to be just obviously evil. It's like, okay, yeah, no brainer. I'm going to choose that decision. I'm hoping that in the future with these other decisions, they're a bit more vague. I wasn't feeling like I really had to have a heart-to-heart.
Did you have that much of a conversation with Ashley Burch's character before?
I did. She will take over and like talk to me. Or at one point, she was like, "Hey, here's how I feel about it," because she comes from one of those positions or one of those groups. It just wasn't the same. Like if you remember Fallout 3, there was that not Newtown. It's the town with the bomb that's there that hasn't gone off. Yeah. It's like you really have a moral dilemma where it's like, maybe not moral. You can choose to detonate it or not to help out these like 1%ers or whatever in this tower, or you can choose to help out this town. I didn't get that same vibe with that first choice, but I feel like they were trying to make it in that direction.
I'll have to tell you what happened in mine, but I think it was talking with her. It was neat because she was just like, "Look, the company's not good, but the people that are working in this town,
sure.
This was their option. They have one option. That's all they could do is survive. So it's not their fault, and they shouldn't be punished. That being said, the people that were runaways, like
right." They're under suppressive, corporation, and they're kind of stuck there.
But she did point out the leader of that group, she's kind of a dick. She's like, she really like revels in the suffering of, that corporation and some of the people in that town. So she's not innocent either.
See, and this makes me want to play the game, now just talk about it because she told me a very like sad story about her life that made me think, oh, fuck that corporation.
Right.
And so I, made my decision how I did. But so I feel like in that sense, they did paint a good picture of making you feel, both scenarios.
Right. Yeah.
But I listened to her. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to just do this thing over here.
Yeah.
Hit this lever.
It was great though.
But nice. So we
do you need to take
talked a good amount about
we can probably pause
Outer
it.
Worlds. Okay, let's pause it here. Gavin, we'll end the Outer Worlds talk there. We're still we're pretty positive on it. I'm interested to see as we play because that's got to be a deep game, like a 20-30 hour kind of thing. Right. So we'll get our impressions further on there.
Yeah.
But played Outer Worlds. You know what? I played a bunch of Fortnite. And I think I have a problem because I can't stop playing that fucking game. Which traditionally I would just talk shit about it, whatever. It was just a fine game. It was for kids, whatever. But I'm really digging it. Something about it, they just click with me. I'm having fun. I'm getting kills. Although I had a bit of a rain on my parade last night. I was Googling because I kept running into, as I was playing these matches, a lot of people or a lot of players, rather than shoot me as I'm shooting them, rather than engage me, they keep hacking at a wall, like they're trying to find something. It's like, okay, this is weird. So I Googled it, and apparently Epic announced this before this new season. They introduced more bots into the map. So these are clearly bots. I thought maybe these are just dumb kids. I'm still going to shoot them anyways, but
that's not fun.
Yeah, so there's more bots, so I feel less, accomplished.
Isn't there crossplay though?
There's crossplay.
Why do we need bots if we have crossplay between 3 different platforms?
Yeah, I think it's to help players feel like which I did. I felt like I was, improving, and so really I'm just killing these bots. But I'm still lasting longer, in the top 10s. That's a common thing for me now, and winning more often, the actual full match. But you find them often where they're just doing something obviously wrong, they're just kind of running one direction, not doing anything. Yeah, so it's a bummer.
That just sucks. That takes away the satisfaction of you versus 99.
Yeah, exactly.
Human-ass beings, and you got to hope the really good ones die of bad luck before you get to the end.
Yep. So that was a bit of a bummer. But they just announced today there's this Halloween event where there's just more in-world stuff happening as you play the game. I'm kind of hooked, Gavin. I think I'm on board.
People are going to be able to buy the Raven skin again because that's the only. Honestly, if I
don't remember that one, but
that was one of the. I want to say near the beginning.
Gotcha.
When they started doing skins, and that to me that is still my favorite skin. It's very simple, but it just looks cool.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I feel like this is kind of in my mind an iconic Fortnite skin.
Yeah, just looks badass. I would buy that and nothing else.
Gotcha. No, you think that way, but then you see the store and they got all these cool stuff and. They're experts at just it's a candy store. It's Toys R Us. This is exactly, they built it very structured, but it's not loot boxy where it's predatory, but it's almost that way because they know exactly how to get you. They're masterminds.
I did feel weird going into Spirit to get my costume for Halloween. And
did you get one after all?
I did. Yeah. Did I not show you the picture?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But
there were some of these naked pics, but I just keep
right. Yeah. Well,
I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, better lighting would help.
In theme with the costume, Bustin makes me feel good. So
that's our only clue as to what that is.
Just a weird thing to say to another human being there, Gavin, but okay. Yeah, the amount of Fortnite costumes, I was very surprised.
Really?
There were so... You
Makes
win,
sense.
though.
Well, I haven't been to the Spirit Store this year. I think I went to... The only attempt I've made at my costume...
I thought you said you did go to Spirit.
No, I've been to Goodwill. That's my only attempt this year. But
Oh,
I will
well,
go
it's
to Spirit.
practically next to good. You haven't... Wait, you have a costume, right?
Yeah, I do, and it's ready to go. It's... No, I don't. I haven't made a decision yet. I'm sure. I was thinking about being Burt Macklin from Parks and Rec.
Right.
Burt Macklin, FBI.
But Wait, does Burt Macklin have a beard?
He does.
Why can't I say his name?
Burt. I was thinking
Burt.
Burt
Yeah,
isn't a
right.
word.
Burt
Name.
Macklin.
Burt Macklin, FBI. He has a beard. You know, that character has a beard, and you just need a dumb coat, FBI thing,
and the
glasses.
shade. Actually, that's pretty
barrel
good.
rolls every once in a while.
Right, exactly. You're gonna be knocking over your own shit.
Yeah.
I think your TV has a problem now. Wait till you do a cartwheel.
I don't know why there's boot-shaped, damage is in there.
It's very strange. Is that under warranty? What was the other option?
That's it. I have a pizza costume that I could always whip out. That's my emergency go-to when I break the glass. I have that pizza costume in there. So, yeah.
I saw a tattoo. I wanted to. I had no way of tagging you with it, but it was a tattoo of a ship, made entirely out of like slices of pepperoni pizza.
Okay.
And like the text below the tattoo says, "I eat ships like you for breakfast." The fuck? It's so great, but so weird.
Yeah.
All right, we should probably get hurrying. We got some planning to do after this.
Well,
we gotta go. Xbox All Access financing returns with Project Scarlet upgrade option. So here's what's gonna happen. Fonzie's gonna explain this because I don't know what it is.
Gotcha. Well, that's fine. They just went into detail. I want to say today or yesterday. It's basically a financing program for the Xbox One S, Xbox One X, so you can pay Microsoft monthly to have that. It's a phone plan. It's a phone plan with a console. Now, this is actually how I got my Xbox One X.
What?
Yeah. So
What are you talking about?
So they've done this before. So this is a phone model where you can, they will, send you the console, you pay monthly, and then it's paid off, and then you own it, just like a cell phone. I did this with the Xbox One X. About a year ago, they had a program where you had to be at the Microsoft store to do this. You had to be in there in person. And I just, by happenstance, this was last September, so we were in Oregon or in Portland. They have a Microsoft store, so I was able to apply there in person.
Isn't this literally layaway?
Almost, but you own it once it's done, and there's no APR or whatever. Like, you don't, the payments don't like increase to where you end up paying more than the console's worth. You just pay flat out per month until you get the console. Yeah, so there's no like, it's actually beneficiary. But that's why I did the Xbox One X. I think I paid like $20 a month. Where after 2 years you own it, I paid off in a year. I just paid more per month. But yeah, and it came with that's the same deal with this. It comes with Xbox Live Gold for 2 years. And also it comes with the Game Pass, so it's included in the thing.
That's a good deal.
But yeah, so it's an option. If you don't want to buy the console flat out, you can do this. But I'll go into detail. So it's Engadget.com writes, Microsoft is bringing back X-Packs.
They're bringing back six-packs. Ladies didn't want them before. They were all about those dad bods. But gentlemen, it's time to hit the gym again. Your time is no longer here.
So Xbox All Access is the name of the program. It's a financing program that allows users to get a Xbox console / Xbox Live membership by paying per month until they fully own the console. The service will relaunch on November 18th through Amazon. So with the launch of the Xbox One S All Digital Edition, the most affordable tier now starts at $20 per month for 24 months. That's for the Xbox One S. Alternatively, you can get an Xbox One S for $22 per month for 24 months or an Xbox One X for $30 per month. Whichever console you pick up, each comes with a 24-month membership to Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass Ultimate Service, which bundles together Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Game Pass. Once Microsoft launches Project Scarlet, this is interesting. So once Microsoft launches Project Scarlet next holiday season, you'll be able to fully upgrade to the company's next generation console, provided you've made at least 18 payments on your existing purchase and return your console, controller and power cord in good working condition. So if you buy the One X, you can upgrade this to the Scarlet next holiday season when it releases. So that's kind of like this I don't know, contingency plan where you can just upgrade.
It says at least 18, so you can't start this now.
No, you can't. So I mean, well, you could buy it now and then start making your payments as long as you make 18.
18 payments. That's going to take.
Well, it's a year and a half ish.
Yeah.
So I mean, you might have to wait. I feel like they would time this. I imagine where you can once the Scarlet launches, you can then upgrade. Otherwise, going 2-3 months further in might be a bit weird. But that's the idea.
I mean, it's not too weird because I definitely I didn't buy the PS3 until like 3 years into its life cycle.
Yeah, well, so that's a bit late, but that's also when the good games start actually releasing because otherwise like third-party overlap stuff. But yeah, so they're just announcing a new option there. They've done this already. That's how I got my Xbox One X. But I do take this as an idea that we are getting more towards this phone installment plan kind of system that we're used to with phones, with consoles rather. So I think this will be, this is just another little tick in that direction. But that's the vibe I'm getting with this.
I'm just surprised. And the only thing I worry, I always worry about waste with these sort of things, especially with phones. Like there's so much phone waste out there.
Sure.
And so if people are going to start buying these, a whole bunch of Xbox One S's right now.
Yeah.
Just for them to be thrown away in a year from now, that's a shit ton of waste.
That is. I don't think they're going to be wasted as much as a phone though, because like phones are
you're
way cheaper than
back
this.
Yeah,
and you will send this back at least with the One X to transfer to the Scarlet with that part. But like a phone, it's cheaper, it's smaller. I think you can throw it away easier. At least with this stuff, there's worth to it. Like there's still a big market for like selling an Xbox One X, even like the OG version. Somebody will still buy it. So I think there's still a resale value for a lot of this stuff, which will keep it from being garbage.
I wonder how cheap I could buy an Xbox One X for now.
You know what? I wouldn't doubt
maybe not like
$150.
maybe not the HD whatever version you have. Like maybe just the cheap.
Well,
version.
that was the Xbox One X. Yeah, the OG one was the huge like fat VCR one.
Yeah, give me the fat VCR.
Yeah, not the One X, but
just Xbox One.
Yeah, I guess it is just Xbox One, yeah. Because they reiterated in kind of... I'm going to look up GameStop value. $60 for... As of writing, GameStop is currently offering around $60 for the Xbox One 50 gig model and $90 for the more. So that's the trade-in value. I don't know how much it would cost. I would say just ballparking $150. That's if you're going to buy it.
So that's not paid for.
Although that's the least reliable of the bunch. I would go with like the Xbox One S. It's the first one.
Oh yeah, there's the S. I forget. So we have an Xbox. We have an Xbox One.
The One S.
Then what do you have?
I have the One X, which is the
called
4K.
a One X.
Well, Xbox One X was just abbreviated.
So they have an S.
Yes.
And an X.
Well, just like phones, like iPhone has their X, their XR, MX Max, like it's the same stuff. Yeah, when you're young like me and you're playing Fortnite every day, this is nothing. I remember all these names and it's fine for me.
But why didn't we just call it 4K? Like that's
you could, yeah.
I mean, that's still what they should have done with the PlayStation 4.
4K.
Yeah, it should have been.
Although
the
when it launched,
4K.
I don't think it was 4K. I think the PS4 Pro was their
right. That's what I mean.
4K.
The PS4 Pro should have been called the PS4 Pro K or 4K. Pro
yeah, that's possible. It's just it's a tough, it's a tough route to go. I'm not sure, Gavin.
Yeah, got to keep moving.
So here's some great news.
Oh boy!
I don't know if you heard about the Fallout.
We're gonna have to skip through this real quick, but
yes. So Bethesda is now selling $100 annual subscriptions for Fallout 76 single player mode. This is Fallout First. It's basically the ability to play the game on a private server. It's $13 a month to pay to have that access.
Don't forget unlimited storage. We probably don't need to go reading through the article.
We don't have to, no, for sure.
Yeah, just paraphrasing. Like, so you get what are we getting here? So you get unlimited storage. You get to play on your own server with up to
it's like 7 friends or something like that.
Up to 7 friends. It's $100 a year,
or $13 a month,
or $13 a month.
You still need the game.
You still got to buy the what is it, $60 game?
Well, that's retail, but you can find it for like $20-$40, that kind of thing.
And possible mod.
Yeah, eventually they can roll out mods. Also, that they pushed back the NPCs ability for the game. I don't know if that's going to be locked into Fallout First, but that's pushed back.
I doubt
further.
it. I hope not. That would be shitting on the shit birthday cake.
You also get 1,600 atoms a month, which is the in-game currency. So you get that.
You got to give them something not ridiculous.
Right. Now, so this article from Kotaku just puts into frame. So as far as subscriptions go, game subscriptions, World of Warcraft costs $15 a month. A regular Netflix subscription costs $13 a month. Oh. So just as far as like the balls on them to kind of announce this, although now granted this is like a fucking landmine of a topic, but this is separate from the devs. The devs don't decide, like, as far as the team working on this, don't decide, hey, let's fuck everyone by making this subscription. It's just whoever higher up saying, hey, let's try and milk this for as much as we can. It's a bummer because I feel for people like just wanting to make a solid Fallout experience, which I think if there is that heart of it is here in that game.
Right.
It's just wrapped in all this bullshit.
Yeah, we were saying that the other day. We were texting. It's just like these poor fucking devs who, like, they were probably so excited when they heard they got to make a Fallout game. Yeah. They're like, all right. So, and they're like, all right, let's do this. And they're like, you're going to make it networked. And we're like, yes, we're going to make that.
Which has challenges too, for sure.
Yeah, we're going to make the multiplayer Fallout game, but you're still going to use the Fallout engine.
The same one? Oh, yeah.
Cool. What? Does it have network in it? No. It has. This is the glitch. This is the glitchy one.
Yeah.
Can we always use the same engine. No, you fucking haven't. We've seen Elder Scrolls Online. Not the same fucking engine.
No.
Like so it's.
They also announced this Fallout's first program the week of Outer Worlds launching, which is, I don't know if they wanted to just put it.
They were gonna steal that thunder.
Yeah, apparently, but they just gave them the thunder to steal. Like it already was. They're going up against, the game that's basically doing everything better than they are with the actual single player Fallout experience, and they come out with this bullshit.
That is, I think, the one thing I will. Just jumping back to
Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds, real quick. I think that's the one. So I hear it's very short. Which is astounding to me because I feel like I have a million side quests left to do.
Gotcha.
I think it's really built a world. So even if it's not the same scenario next time, like you're not somebody waking up on a ship.
Sure.
I feel like this universe is perfectly set up for another story.
Gotcha. Maybe I get that vibe too. I'm on board.
Maybe not the same solar system, but like the same concept, another solar system, bigger, crazier.
No, I think they have a franchise ready to go. Like I think this is the start of it for sure.
And especially if you put that on a next-gen console where you can have a solid-state drive and never have a load screen.
That's the thing. The load times suck with this game. It's like, what's going on?
I've been shocked because my system is older.
Yeah.
I got a terabyte hard drive, so that loads a little bit slower.
Okay.
It's not on a solid state. I'm loading crazy quick. It loads faster than basically any PC game that I have. It loads way faster than Borderlands by a mile. Sometimes I'll have like a 5-minute Borderland load screen.
Maybe it's just more optimized for PC because on Xbox One X it is not fun.
It's so fast. I'm in and out. So, but I also don't know what your regular load screens are on most games. So you may just be kind of jaded because my load screens are normally a little bit longer.
Gotcha. Well, my test is like, do I have enough time to whip on my phone? Then that's too long. If I'm like looking at my phone in between stuff.
What the fuck is this?
That's my gauge. That's my meter.
You can check it out, see if you get a text.
Yeah, but it pulls me out from the game. If I have enough time to like go on Twitter, start researching stuff, then I'm like pulled out. It's too long of a load. Sequence.
But if you could do that with like, you hop in your ship, you get to see it pull out of. I think it would be nice if you got to see a little bit more animations pull out of the dock.
That's true.
Fly out, but it's anyway.
Gotcha. Well, it's Fallout first, is what they're.
Fallout first, everybody.
Now,
I'll be there. Will you? It launched.
It did.
It's out.
It's out.
It is not out.
It is. So there's already. So when they launched, apparently this was last week, they experienced some glitches where the price model included your own usage of whatever kind of storage unit that would just like infinite capacity. Mm-hmm. That wasn't the case. People are finding that it was deleted. Whatever they put in there was deleted. There's a glitch happening. So there's that. There's also
you got a deadline. Damn it! We're gonna launch it whether you make it or not.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they also experienced one of the guarantees was that you had your own server. They found that they were recycling old servers, so they were going into areas that were already messed with. So there was that issue, and apparently they were going to fix that with an update. But also, this is just today. So apparently, the people that when you do make that, if you're on Fallout first, you have an exclusive skin that you can use. It's like it's from New Vegas. It's like your that one box art skin.
Oh yeah.
So that's an exclusive skin to Fallout first. So now when you walk around the world in the regular Fallout mode, people can see you. So I guess they're grieving those players that have opted in for the Fallout first experience. So there's like this class warfare thing going on with Fallout 76 because they can see who opted in to pay for that and who didn't. And so everyone's grieving the other players because they are enabling that kind of bullshit by buying the thing in the first place. So there's this whole warfare thing going on, which is funny because like if you pull out, it's almost like this is in line with Fallout's storyline. Like the fact that a corporation is making these bullshit decisions and kind of, tricking people. It's like, that's exactly what would happen in that universe. It's just funny that it's happening in real life.
We need to, after this, by the way, watch, do you watch much of Polygon's, I forget what it's called, like Insanity. It's this one writer who just like overly breaks down.
No.
Okay, he did this explanation of why Fallout's music is wrong.
Gotcha.
Because basically, it's like no one's making new music. It's been over 100 years, and no one's made any new music.
Oh, sure.
There is no human society where that would be possible.
Yeah, no,
I would listen to the worst bucket drummer on the street if he was new. Like,
no, you're totally right. Yeah, that's funny.
So.
So there's more, ever unfolding drama with Fallout 76.
It's a dumpster fire to end all dumpster fires, and you feel for them. You do.
I feel for the devs for sure, not whoever's pulling the strings making these horrible decisions, but
no.
Now to move from one, highly hated company now with Bethesda to EA. There's some EA news. Okay. This is more positive news, but EA games are coming back to Steam.
Sure.
I didn't realize they weren't on Steam, but apparently no, I did not.
A lot of times too, especially at the start, I don't know if this is the way they are now, but I know at the start when they launched, was it EA Origin, EA Access?
Yeah.
When you'd buy a game on Steam, it would launch the fucking EA launcher.
Oh, okay.
And then it's like, okay, I open up my launcher to launch another launcher to play the game.
Gotcha.
But that's really good.
Yeah, so it's a long time coming. Apparently, it's pretty positive news. But this is from Polygon. So they write. Patricia Hernandez writes about the news. The first new EA game coming to Steam will be Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which will arrive on November 15th, and incidentally can be pre-ordered starting today. The full extent of the partnership will come to fruition in spring 2020 when users will be able to subscribe to the EA Access program via Steam. The subscription gives players access to games, early trials, discounts, expansions, and a special in-game item for $4.99 a month or $29.99 a year. I do like the idea. That's interesting to me that you can pay per month to get these new games. You don't have to flat out buy them.
That's what I did with Anthem.
Gotcha.
Even though, according to articles online, said I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Like I paid for some sort of EA Access to be able to play it for a month.
Yeah.
Then I canceled it.
Okay.
And then like a month later, I saw like they're launching this new program, so you can play Anthem for just this low, all the games on their service for this amount of month.
But that's what you did.
But that's what I did. So what did you just launch?
I don't know.
I have no understanding.
I like that you gave him money not knowing what was going on the first time.
I bought something.
But I do like the companies are exploring these different, price formats where, especially with a risky game like with Anthem, you can pay the $5 a month to just test it out, and if you do like it, then you're a subscriber. That's fine. If not, you can cancel.
And I absolutely canceled.
Gotcha. Now, just as a goof, so EA announced that they were coming back to Steam with this like blue logo with their blue theme with these two logos together. So Devolver Digital put out this thing too. So excited to announce that Devolver Digital games are returning to Steam. Get them at celebratory prices. So they're basically just
going on a sale.
Yeah.
Goodness.
But just kind of jumping on
Devolver.
That. Yeah, they're awesome. Their whole social media team's on point. But
they're fun, and they're nice in person too.
Gotcha. You've met them? Yeah,
I've met one of them, and he was just great. I saw one of the real founders.
Devolver Senior or
Devolver Senior. He's just a huge fucking human.
Gotcha.
Like he looks like, to me, like build wise, he's kind of like you. He's just like a little bit jacked,
just
and
chiseled, handsome, and
absolutely. But then like you see him in person, and he's just like that tall. It's like the camera didn't do that shit justice. I goddamn. At least that's how I remember it. He may have just been.
Gotcha.
He's tiny. It's 3 foot.
Or you're
2.
in a fun house where there's mirrors and stuff.
Right.
Gavin, so we have this Overwatch 2 news. So apparently this was leaked over the weekend pretty badly, where the point where this is a huge get for BlizzCon, but Overwatch 2 is basically announced. Now,
what would that even be?
So yeah, here's the deal.
It's a service game. Why would you?
So apparently they're adding these new modes with Overwatch 2. So this is from Polygon.
Put that in one.
Well, maybe they will. I doubt it. I think they're hoping that this is going to kind of lure people away from the whole drama with Blizzard right now. But so Nicole Carpenter from Polygon writes, Overwatch 2 artwork leaks through Blizzard's store. So days before Blizzard's annual fan convention, BlizzCon, is slated to begin, a new image of what appears to be Overwatch 2 has appeared online. Overwatch 2 is expected to introduce a player versus environment experience, as well as a new game modes, maps, and heroes, according to an ESPN report.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so that's where it could, because you mentioned like how would they change this? I guess they'd add the PvE.
Well, they experimented with PvE, but it was typically very limited time. Like Halloween, they do like a mode where it's a select group of heroes, and you get to pick one, and then you fight against a select group of heroes, but they're like modified and they have costumes, and it was very fun. But yeah, I could really use a single player.
Gotcha.
So
now ESPN also writes, or the original report was from ESPN. ESPN originally reported that Echo, an Omnic character revealed at last year's BlizzCon, would be the game's next hero, but the story was later updated to remove mention of Echo. Esports insider Rod Brislow wrote on Twitter, said it's likely true, that Echo will be announced at BlizzCon as the 32nd hero.
Likely untrue.
Now, BlizzCon will run November 1st to the 2nd at Anaheim Convention Center. That's this weekend. So we'll see confirmed announcements about this whole and how they navigate through the drama and people most likely protesting the event too.
I just want another moment with the wasn't there a guy at the Diablo thing that said, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like,
yeah, and they're like, yes, it's actually intended, and
it's gonna be that moment.
So this is the image that they leaked with. I don't know if you know these characters, but
right,
it looks like some.
That's Reinhardt, nonsense. Tracer, Maze Bay, Winston, Mercy. Who the fuck is that? The gal. I'm not sure if the one on the top left is a character. It looks kind of like a character, but
gotcha.
Also not.
Well, we'll see for sure.
Or is that the leaked image?
This is the leaked image, but I'm not sure because I know nothing about Overwatch. Which character is not really there? They could all be new characters for all I fucking know.
Yeah, the one flying in the top left is
with the blue kind of helmet thing.
Yeah, to my knowledge, not in the game, but that also looks like it could just be. So there are generic soldiers and generic enemy robots in the game. So she just, to me, kind of looks like a generic robot. There's several characters. They try and make all these characters as distinct as possible.
Sure.
And she looks like a combination of two characters. So to me, that seems like a bad choice.
Gotcha.
I would love to see, though, if they made an Overwatch 2, I want to see those graphics even better. Like, the style was really good. It's a very pretty game, but you have, like, let's push it a little bit.
Yeah, and it's, 5 years old at least, right?
Probably.
So it's due for a kind of a upgrade kind of thing. Well, the Switch already had a hard enough time playing this game, so it's tapping out for the sequel to that. But yeah, for PC players for sure. Now this is just extra bad news for Blizzard lately. But they lost their Mitsubishi support or sponsor for all their different events, esports events. So they just pulled out today,
which is great because that's an interesting one too, because to my understanding, Mitsubishi isn't Chinese.
They're Japanese, right?
They're Japanese, I believe.
Yeah, so they withdrew support because of their stance on Blitzchung and his announcements or his comments. So.
That's interesting. I wonder if
they might be the first company to actually withdraw because of that. Yeah.
But I don't know. That's one of those ones of, is Mitsubishi sold in China? They might be not. So they may have the honest to God option of not giving a fuck.
Right. Because they're not, as tied to China, or because they just want to distance themselves away from this decision. But yeah, so they lost that today. That was it for for Blizzard announcements. But this weekend is BlizzCon. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Now, Gavin, also there was this announcement with Death Stranding that's coming to PC. I don't know if you saw this.
And then it's going to have Conan O'Brien in it?
Yeah. the bigger news, Conan O'Brien's on there. But I don't know if you found this interesting at all, the fact that they're coming to PC.
I would if my PC could run that thing.
Yeah, good luck running this thing. But it's dope. At least it gives more options for players out there who are.
That's great. I didn't see that coming, especially when isn't this made by Sony?
It's not. So Sony doesn't own Kojima Productions, so they actually are publishing the game and somewhat financing it. So they're not actually.
Who's financing this? Sony is.
Sony is paying, I think, for the exclusivity as far as console wise, but they don't own that company. Technically, Kojima is indie because he actually owns that industry or that developer, his own development unit.
Indie enough.
Right. He's indie with full blown, millions of dollars support from Sony. And whatnot. But he owns everything there.
He's as indie as Five Guys is. That's all I had.
Yeah, but yeah, he is technically indie, so he doesn't. Sony isn't able to stop him from releasing on PC. Now, apparently, this was confirmed years ago, but nobody really saw it. So IGN's Jonathan Dornbush writes about this. So yeah, Dornbush is his name. Yeah. Kojima Productions confirmed Death Stranding on PC years ago, and we all just forgot. So here's the actual quote. This is from a Q&A with... This is before, while they're getting the studio together, and they didn't have an actual game set yet.
Interesting.
So way back when Kojima Productions announced its partnership with PlayStation, before that Death Stranding even had a name or mysterious flashy trailer, a now-deleted Q&A posted by PlayStation Europe included a question about whether the company's then unnamed first game would come to other platforms. The title is planned to become available on PC after PS4, the Q&A included. But the entire article was deleted shortly after its posting, presumably because Sony would have preferred the focus to be on Kojima's partnership with PlayStation specifically. So it's just, I guess this was kind of, buried deep in the initial announcements before we even had a Death Stranding announcement. But yeah. Now, Death Stranding comes out pretty soon. It's a week away, November 8th, a little over a week. And the embargo releases this week, too, so we'll finally see what people feel about it.
I'm not going to read it. All I want to know is the number. Well, see, that's the thing. I don't even really want to know the number. I think it's going to be hard to dodge the number because a lot of the sites I go have it on the side.
Yep.
So...
regardless of the initial, feels out there, I'm on board as long as it's not terrible. But I'm the type of person where I can see what the initial vibe is, but still be interested and just not read the reviews thoroughly. But I'm not going to be able to avoid the initial, reactions to this. But
I just want to let that game just wash over me.
Oh yeah,
because I still don't know what the game is,
and that's good. And I've watched plenty of videos, and I still don't know what the game is about. But I'm glad. I love that these games exist, and he's really the only person to kind of see these out. But
Kojima is all the way off the chain.
Oh yeah,
and I think that's one of the things too. Like, he's hard to compare. Like, the closest thing I can compare is like to Suda 51. But Suda 51, he's definitely weird in his own right. There are different kinds of weird. He made No More Heroes.
Oh, okay. Yes.
He's made some other cool stuff. I think that's his most. It's probably not his most well known, but.
Gotcha.
Killer 7 was really good. And they're both they're really weird, they're really quirky, but Kojima still, when he makes these games, and they're AAA.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be a big fucking to do.
Oh yeah.
What you're going into, and it's going to take forever to finish.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Like, he gives you bang for your buck.
Oh yeah. Yeah, with the last ones for sure. Like, I really dug Metal Gear Solid 5. Like, I had a lot of fun. And that was like the first one I actually jumped into and played all the way through. Mm-hmm. And I was still fine playing it.
And they've all been long. Like, you could probably go back to the NES games, and they're probably long for NES games.
Oh, I'm sure at least 10, 15 hours for sure. Yeah. Now, Gavin, this one really hurt me in my heart and my groin. So this is Last of Us Part 2 delayed to May 2020.
Wasn't this news from last week? Did we?
This happened right after we met last week. So
okay. Met for the first time last week.
Yes. Now, originally I thought it was a month. For some reason, I just processed this as a month, and maybe to make myself feel better. But this was actually 3-month delay. So May 29th was the set date. They had a press event. They showed off the game, announced it. So May 29th was the initial date. February 21st was the initial date. They moved it to May 29th. So that's a good 3 months there. So this is a quote from the game director. He writes about just the reason why. In a post on the PlayStation blog, Neil Druckmann, games director, explained the delay. It was during the last few weeks, as we were closing out sections of the game, that we realized we simply didn't have enough time to bring the entire game up to a level of polish we would call Naughty Dog quality. At this point, we were faced with two options: compromise parts of the game or get more time. We went with the latter, and this new release date allows us to finish everything to our level of satisfaction while also reducing stress on the team. It's a bummer, but also, of course, without a doubt, take your time, make the game what it needs to be, for sure. It's a bummer because I was expecting it and ready for it, and everyone is. But, of course, do your thing, take your time. Especially with a masterpiece like the last one, you don't want to fuck it up by producing something that's not as equal quality.
Right. And they've always been polished to a mirror machine, so it's...
Right.
Yeah, it definitely surprises me that that's necessarily what the issue is. Like, I would have thought something else, because they're definitely polishing along the way, and I'm sure at this point they've been in the polish phase and fixing stuff for a while. Especially with the omission of, I didn't realize that the multiplayer is not in it.
Yeah, it's not.
So
this is just single player. I don't know what. It's interesting to see, because they had whether it was forced on them or not, But they had this February 21st date that everyone agreed to, and they had their press event. And just like, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks after that event, then they go, you know what, we need another 3 months. Like, that's kind of a big chunk of time, at least a fair chunk of time. I don't know what the problem they foresaw was. But they have these producers, these people on the team that will see the timeline laid out and what benchmarks they need to hit. Mm-hmm. So at least kudos on their organizers to feel like to see that, okay, we're not hitting these marks, we need a delay, and not trying to push it towards the end and try to make it work. They just foresaw this and said, okay, let's get some more time.
Yeah.
But yep. So we're seeing May 29th, 2020, which is basically almost like a summer game.
Yeah. And to me, that tells me like they probably did have it really well planned out with that date, and they probably gave themselves a little bit of wiggle room, but there's probably just a lot more things that went wrong than they anticipated. And that's probably all it was.
Yeah.
So
gotcha. So we'll see how that goes. Of course, I'm waiting for that game for sure. So now, Gavin, there's some EA news, further EA news with this Battlefield. So next Battlefield game coming by 2022, Apex Legends will be EA's annual shooter for 2020. This is from Michael McWhorter of Polygon. They basically announced that EA announced that they're going to take a break on the Battlefield franchise and not put one out until 2022, which I'm not mad at because I think the Battlefield franchise has been really kind of waning as far as popularity goes. Like they seem to be just kind of becoming more and more in the background, and I think it gives them enough time to refresh.
It's got to become Battlefield again. And right now it's kind of just Call of Duty with vehicles a bit.
Yeah, they're just a Call of Duty competitor, basically.
Yeah.
So now the next yearly shooter they're going to focus on is Apex Legends. So they're going to really, every year, focus on new content for Apex Legends. That's going to be their moneymaker, they announced.
It kind of would have been nice if... new Titanfall game. If that's the
apparently whatever they did this interview asked them about it. So let's paraphrase.
I need to play Did you ever play Fallout or Titanfall 2?
No, I heard their single player was awesome.
Yeah, that's absolutely everything I've heard. It's fantastic.
I need to jump in and play it, but I have not.
I watched a bit of some of not the ending, but like the final chasing leading up to the ending, and it was like taking my breath away how like quick this chase, it was just like it was intense. I'm like, I need to play that and never did. But it looked incredible. It looked really fun.
Yeah, no, I keep hearing positive things about it, so I need to jump in.
Yeah.
But now so this is from Polygon. Apex Legends will expand next year into new platforms, including mobile, and EA will push the game into China. Good luck with that. The company said EA added that it's keeping Respawn hyper-focused on Apex Legends, and when asked about the possibility of Titanfall 3, Chief Financial Officer Blake Jorgensen said he couldn't confirm anything, but added... Blakey G said he couldn't confirm anything, but added, we won't forget about Titanfall. I do hope that they will bring Titanfall 3 back in some form, some capacity. They're also sleeping on NBA, so they're not releasing NBA Live this year. They're waiting for NBA Live 20 to kind of polish the games and wait for these next-gen consoles to come out. Yeah. So it seems like overall they're letting some of these properties breathe, which is a good refresh for some of these things.
That could mean they also have a lot of dev kits. Like they are prepped up, so when next-gen consoles comes along, they're like, you got money?
That's true.
Nobody else got games.
Well, that's games. And that's one of the games that sports games always release with these new next-gen consoles, so they have to be ready for that for sure.
That's smart. Quick maths.
Gavin, this is a loaded one, but we will just kind of skim the surface now. Call of Duty Modern Warfare launched this week. It's been review bombed because they've changed some of the historical events, and it's not playing nice in online on Twitter. So
what? I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, so this is basically there's a place called I'll paraphrase a little bit of this. So at the time of writing, Modern Warfare's user Metacritic score.
And who wrote this?
Yeah, you're right. So this is Austin Wood of GamesRadar.com.
Okay.
At the time of writing, Modern Warfare's user Metacritic score is sitting at a cool 3 out of 10. So what is it about the... A huge chunk of these negative reviews were posted in the last 2 days after players discovered a mission in game that focuses on a highway of death. This is based on a real area.
Is that Desert Storm?
So Highway Death is a place in Iraq. It's like a nickname place in Iraq.
Okay.
So what is it about the Highway of Death mission that's upset so many players? Well, in fact, that many of the aforementioned negative reviews mention Russia are indeed written in Russian. It's pretty telling. See, in Modern Warfare, the Highway of Death is a stretch of road in a fictional country of Uzbekistan that, to quote in-game rebel leader Farah, the Russians bombed, killing the people trying to escape. The thing is, there is a highway of death that is a real thing from a real war. In the real world, the name Highway of Death belongs to a road in Iraq. In February 1991, our American-led Allied forces bombed retreating Iraqi forces up and down this road for roughly 2 days.
I wonder if that was Desert Storm.
You know what? You're right. I was thinking Iraq.
I could
was thinking
swear.
Iraq.
I could swear I remember like seeing this image of like I don't even know if it was a highway. I thought it was just this really long airstrip, just absolutely covered in vehicles.
Yeah,
just bombed to fucking shreds. Maybe it was a highway.
So this is from the 2003 invasion of Iraq, apparently.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Can't that?
From the
yeah, 2003. Yeah, that can't be right because
it was rebuilt in 2003. So it was repaired after the Persian Gulf War and issued by U.S. So it was from 1998 invasion of Kuwait, which is Desert Storm. I think you're right. I'm gonna go. I'm not an expert or a doctor. I'm gonna go with that.
I mean, we were 3. You were 2.
Well,
I think.
I was taking notes, but yeah. So apparently they twisted it where the Americans were not responsible for this highway of death incident, which we were in.
And we
real
made it
world,
the Russians.
We made it the Russians. So because of this, it's been review bombed. But I wouldn't say not only by Russians, by Americans just saying, hey, like the whole sell with this game was we're going more realistic, basing this more on real world events, but then we're changing the narrative that Americans aren't the bad guys. Could be a good time where, and there's issues with that white phosphorus whole thing that they use integrated. So they should, the times where they can lean harder on the grayness of war with us participating in it, they don't, and they kind of twist the narrative a little bit. It's a bit weird, but they're also releasing this game to Americans, so.
Ooh, that's itchy though. But it's not like, and this is a conversation I've had with like a German friend before about like, because in Germany it's like it's stupidly, like insanely frowned upon to talk about anything Nazi related at all. You just don't talk about it.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, well, how the fuck are you supposed to learn from your mistakes?
Yeah,
like
keep from erasing it, from everyone's mind. Like,
right. We look at the colonists, the Trail of Tears, the Quakers coming along, like all the shit we done did.
Yeah.
Nuking Japan, like all this stuff. It's like if you don't talk about it,
right. You have to lean into that to feel it every day so that it doesn't happen again.
Where are you going to get your white guilt from? I don't understand.
Yeah, that's true. Kevin, that's all the news I have for you this week. I do have some upcoming video game releases. We have...
Is one of them Luigi 3?
That, it comes out Halloween, right?
Luigi's Mansion?
Luigi's Mansion comes out October 31st.
Oh, I thought it was already out. The reviews are in for it.
They're super positive.
They're like really very positive. It makes me want to get it. I was a little bit lukewarm after the last one.
I never played any of them, but they always looked interesting to me.
The first one was good. It was just cute. It was very short. Yeah, for the GameCube. It was gorgeous for its time.
Yeah.
And it just had so much personality packed in every little corner. And that's what they did with the second one, but the second one kept making you like replay the same sections over and over again.
Was that on not Switch, on
3DS?
Okay.
Yeah. And then this new one apparently is kind of the best of both worlds. It's got a lot of content. It's got a lot of personality packed in every corner. It's just a really good game, but now it's long.
Gotcha.
And I kind of want to pick it up, but also I have no money.
Yeah, and it's like it's a full price retail.
It's a full game, and I don't have the time.
Yeah, that's true. It's like money and time. I don't have any of that.
Right.
We have some other releases here. We have After Party, which I do want to play this. So this is the game where you have to outdrink the devil in hell.
Well,
to get out of it.
That's not a game. I'm already.
It's your life.
I got plenty of catching up to do, but
now, so that's After Party. I do want to.
It's pretty.
From what I remember, yeah.
And it's, if I understand it correctly, made from the devs of Oxenfree, so it's going to have an interesting dialogue system.
Gotcha. So Night School Studio, which I want to say is responsible for that. So it's almost like a Guacamelee kind of art style thing.
A little bit, yeah.
But you have to outdrink the devil.
I think the major complaint I heard about it is that it's insanely linear. Like you're basically just walking from bar to bar talking.
If the dialogue's funny enough, I don't mind that, but I haven't tried it. So
I would have been fine with that with like the South Park games. Just like, let's be linear, but just like keep up this writing.
Right, exactly.
Speaking of Obsidian, which is insane to me that they made that game.
Did they?
They made the South Park games,
Whoa,
apparently.
Like the Stick of Truth or the Buck
Yeah,
or whatever?
that's what I heard. I think that's true. So if I think it hard enough, then it's true. And those games are good. I still like the first one better than the second one. Did you ever play them?
I never played any of them, actually. Yeah.
The first one's like a classic fucking RPG.
I remember they get really good reviews. Like, they're really well known.
It's good. I mean, if you liked Paper Mario, the first one's basically a lot of Paper Mario. I think the only downside is like it's only got one hard boss fight.
So yeah, Obsidian did the Stick of Truth.
Yeah.
And it looks like somebody at Ubisoft tackled the Fractured Butthole.
Fractured Butthole.
Yeah, but you're right. So we have that. We have some those Disney classic games, Aladdin, Lion King, that were re-released. They also come out at the end of the week. We have Resident Evil 5 and 6 coming out at the end of the week on Switch.
The fuck is Dusk Diver?
Dusk Diver on PS4 and Switch comes out October 29th. I have no idea what that is.
Dusk diving in the wintertime. I'm dusk diving in the wintertime.
It's interesting. It's almost like a Jet Grand Radio art style.
Oh, this is some anime as hell shit right here.
For sure, anime.
A little bit of Pokemans. There's I think we mentioned that last week. That one RPG, the Disco Elysium.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not out yet though, right?
Yeah, it's out. Okay. It's on PC at least.
Gotcha.
Journey for Elysium. What's that? Oh, it's a VR. I don't. Oh, is that the really good one?
Where are you seeing this?
It's at the bottom.
Okay. Oh, there we go. I will check it out. We have PC, VR.
I think I saw this. It's basically a built for VR.
Looks like a scary game.
No,
you're the
I'm
resident Spooky Boi, so we'll see.
They're definitely. So this is not what I was thinking of. There's this new.
It's a creepy black and white looking.
I forget what it's called, but somebody made like a full-on Skyrim style game with its own like theme and story, and it's like awesome. AAA VR game that people that have played are like, this is amazing. This is like the reason to buy VR. We've been saying this for 1,000 games, but finally this is actually the one. We're not just lying to you so you'll buy it and people will make these games.
Yeah.
The other game, I don't know if we mentioned it maybe it launched last week, is something Garden.
Garden or Guard?
Garden.
Something Garden. Do you know if it's
Manifold
PC?
Gardens?
Manifold Gardens.
And if you haven't seen the footage of it, this game is amazing. It's just gorgeous. Like looking at it, it's got this really interesting gameplay where gravity manipulates in like this world. Like you see these weird like twisted shapes out in this world, and then if you like start falling, they loop.
Whoa.
And
almost like an MC Escher or whatever.
Yeah, like an MC Escher. So it's definitely got a lot of Escher inspiration.
Or Usher, MC Usher.
I think it's Escher, MC Usher.
Idiot.
That's probably not even him.
I do want to see him pop and locking in this.
Right.
It's really dope. This is interesting.
It's so gorgeous. And the developer behind it, his name is William Cheer. He's an absolute gorgeous hunk of man.
Okay.
Who I've gotten the pleasure of drinking with, and he's a really fun guy. But he's like,
what's his name? MC Usher.
MC Escher.
What's the developer?
William Cheer. Cheer is spelled Chyerr. I want to say.
Oh, gotcha.
And there's a really cool art book to go with that.
I see.
I don't know. Oh, maybe it is just one R. William Cheer.
Yes.
Yeah. This is
game developer working on Manifold Garden.
He was out in. We met at TwitchCon because he also would stream development.
Arcade?
Oh, was it? Yeah, we met at TwitchCon because he was friends with some of my friends, and then we later met up because he was a Chicago resident.
Oh, okay.
So we got to meet at some events there, but just like super cool guy. And the nice thing is like he's been working on this project for I want to say 6 years.
Gotcha.
It's been in the tubes for a minute.
I see.
But he just cares. Like he really fucking cares. So it's really cool to see it finally come out because it has been so long.
That's awesome.
But
is it just him developing the game?
He actually had a buddy of mine. Well, like a buddy of a buddy more. Help him out with a little bit of it.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
When it's that kind of situation and you have to get outside help, but you're an indie dev, can you like, so this thing, release on like Apple Arcade, can you secure finances for someone else to help pay to bring in another party? Or do you have to like...
I want to say he had some grants.
Okay, gotcha.
And some other stuff to help finance because I don't think he had any other job. I think this was literally the only thing.
I see.
So I want to say he had some sort of financing. It's not, just some independent backer or something. Because I want to say... I don't think he was expecting this thing to break the internet and make millions of dollars, but... So
already it's so unique that I could see it for sure. Like you're not going to forget it amongst other stuff.
No, yeah.
Stands out for sure. It's almost like, is it Monument Valley? Those iOS games? Where
I could see what you're saying,
like that,
especially with that
3D.
cream-colored background, the simplistic art
with
style.
Portal,
Yeah,
with something else.
Yeah, Monument Valley with Portal and MC Escher and a twist of... And I'd honestly to God love to get the art book for it because the art in this is just so pretty and it's just different.
Yeah, for sure.
And he develops a ton of this on stream on Twitch.
Okay, nice.
Which is neat.
Gotcha. That is dope. I'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
Yep. Gavin, that's it for the week. Where can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at DrunkDevs.
Awesome. You can find us Plastic Heart Pod on Twitter as well. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.